So we have discussed enough about the lightning, like why does it occurs in the sky, and even we have discussed about the lightning conductor. So we will write now, and even you just go through this whatever I will be writing, and even please note this down so that you can read this and can, like, your doubts can be cleared forever, and these things can fit in your brain. So what is lightning? So lightning is a bright, okay, we are talking about lightning. Lightning is a bright flash of light, which can be seen in the sky along with the thunder. Okay. So what we are talking about? We are talking about lightning, children, and first of all we are talking about the definition of the lightning. So what is lightning? Lightning is a bright flash of light which can be seen in the sky along with the thunder, that means along with the loud noise. Okay. So now after this, so what it is actually? What actually it is, children? We have discussed this. What actually it is? So what it is actually? It is huge electric spark Okay, what it is, children? It is a huge electric spark in the in the sky. Now, I hope these 2 points are very clear, that what is light? Light is nothing but just a flash of light. Okay, what is lightning, children? It is nothing but just a flash of light which can be seen in the sky along with the thunder, along with the loud noise, thunder. Okay, now, and what it is actually? It is what? Electric spark. As a spark takes place, you know, at maybe in the road, maybe you might have seen the electric sparks in on the poles sometimes, maybe in the house itself. Okay, so now we will talk why this lightning occurs. So, reason behind lightning. Okay, so we will talk about reason behind lightning. So, what we will talk now, we will discuss whatever we have discussed here, whatever I explained over here about the clouds. So, during storm, a heavy, dark clouds moves very fast. Okay, these what moves very fast, children? Dark and heavy clouds. Okay, black, dark, heavy clouds, they move what? Very fast. Now, also what is moving? Wind. So, what is moving from the air? So, as the clouds floats, as the cloud floats, the wind passes through it. Okay, wind passes through it. Okay, what will happen when the clouds are floating? Along with that, what is flowing? Even the wind is flowing, and this wind is going to pass through the what? Through the clouds. Okay, so now what will happen, children? In the clouds, friction occurs between water droplets. I can write over here also, water droplets and ice particles. Okay, so what is happening? I can write even one more line over here. Clouds are made up of, what two things, children? Like clouds are many things, okay, but what we are talking about now, maybe lighter particle is also there, heavier particle is also there. So lighter particle will come on the upper side and the heavier particle will come on the lower side. So I can just write two things. So they are made up of what? Water droplets and ice particles. Okay, so here now, so the sentence can be completed now that clouds are made up of water droplets and ice particle. This is full stop over here. Now, in the clouds, friction occurs. Why this friction is occurring, children? As the wind blows very fast, moves through the clouds, they what is happening now? So these two things comes in contact, they get rubbed by each other. Okay, they get rubbed by each other. So now what is happening due to this friction? What is happening? The lighter particles. See children, I am not writing complete sentences, I am just writing that gist, almost gist. So if the sentence formation is not complete, so you can complete it, because I cannot write so much, So I am just writing few little important points. So you can write over here, air passes through this, okay, then the friction occurs. Due to friction, these particles comes in contact with each other, they get rubbed by each other. I cannot write so much, isn't it? So now lighter particles with positive charge, okay, lighter particles with positive charge get accumulated on the upper end, of the clouds, okay. And what will happen? The heavier particles will come down. So, and the heavier negative particles get accumulated at the lower end. Okay, so it gets accumulated at the lower ends. Now what will happen? Now when too much of charges get accumulated, so what happens, children? The flow of charges takes place. So flow of charges takes place. Okay, flow of charges takes place. Due to this, what happens, children? When the flow of charges takes place, so and thus the streak of light, it is so big, again I will have to write that side also. So, and thus the streak of light can be seen. Okay. Now, what I will write over here? Now I will write about the thunder, that the streak produced, or the streak is produced for a very short period of time, very short period of time, but heat, I cannot write here, but heat produced here is too high. Okay. Now, what will happen to this heat produced? First, I'll just go through it so that there should be no mistake over here. So, lightning is a bright flash of light which can be seen in the sky along with the thunder. Okay, what is it? It is a bright flash of light. Okay, it is written over here. It is a bright flash of light. Now, actually it is what? Huge electric spark in the sky. Now, reason behind lightning is what, children? During storm, a heavy dark clouds are written during storm. Heavy dark clouds, I will remove this. Clouds move very fast. As a cloud floats, the wind passes through it. Okay, and clouds are made up of two particles, any particles in fact, but here we are discussing about two. So, water droplets is there, dust particles are there, isn't it? Then ice particles are there. So, it is not that the clouds are made up of two particles, clouds are made up of many particles, okay. But the latter particle will be what? It will be shifting upper side and the heavier wind will be coming down. So, in the clouds, friction occurs between the water droplets and ice particles. Latter particles with positive charge get accumulated on the upper end of the clouds and the heavier negative particles get accumulated at the lower end. Okay. Now when too much of charge gets accumulated, flow of charges takes place and thus the streak of light can be seen. The streak is produced for a very short period of time, but the heat produced is too high. Now what shall be the next one, children? Please note this one. I will be rubbing this part and then I will be writing over here which is left in the continuation. Okay. Okay. So now too much of heat is produced. Now what will happen when too much of heat is produced? The air near this cloud will be heated, isn't it? As what will happen? Too much of heat is produced. So layers of, is it visible? Yes. Layers of air get heated and also expands, which create disturbance. Okay, what is happening, children? When the lot of heat is produced, then what will happen when the heat is produced? Then the air which is present near the cloud will get heated. When this heat is getting heated, so whenever the substance get heat, substance means anything, air or liquid or gas. Gas is only air, but liquid, gas, solids, whatever, when it will be heated, it will expand. Okay, so when it expands, so disturbance is created, layer of air get heated and also expands, which creates disturbance and create a loud sound. Okay, what is creating loud sound, children? Actually, the rapid expansion. Okay, so rapid expansion give rise to loud sound. Okay. So this rapid expansion give rise to loud sound. Now we'll talk about the next point. What will be our next point, children? Our next point will be like, now what is happening when the loud sound is produced now? So what can be the next thing what we have discussed is this lightning can be very, very dangerous. Okay. So now how the lightning can be, like what is happening actually when the okay. Now what can be the other reason? When the clouds, okay, when the two clouds with opposite charge, okay, when the two clouds with the opposite charge collides with each other, again lightning is produced. Okay, again lightning is produced. So this whole thing, children, I have written only about what? That what is lightning, how does it how it is produced. So what is lightning? It is nothing but just a flash of light. How it is produced, children? When the during the storm, the clouds, it floats very fast. The clouds are dark, heavy, made up of what? The different particles. When air floats, when the clouds are floating, the air floats through this cloud, flows through these clouds, due to which the inner particle of the clouds, they come across friction. Due to friction, what happens? The latter particle, the lighter one, obviously the lighter one will shift towards the upper side of the cloud and the heavier particles will shift towards the lower part. Okay. Now, when too much of charge gets aggregated, when it will be more, okay, too much of positive and too much of negative, then what will happen? The transfer of charges takes place, which give rise to streak of light. Second case again, when the two clouds with the opposite charges, okay, when the two clouds with the opposite charges, they come in contact with each other, they collide with each other, again the transfer of what happens? The transfer of charge takes place, giving rise to the collision. This collision is momentary, it takes place only for a very short time, but the heat which is produced in this is very, very high. Now, when the heat is produced, then what will happen? The layer of air which is just near the cloud will be heated and it will expand also. Due to this rapid expansion, what the disturbance is created and which give rise to loud sound. Okay. So, this is all about what, children? This is all about the lightning. Now, we will talk about how the lightning can affect us. How the lightning can affect the buildings, tall buildings, which I taught you. But now I will be writing this details. Okay. Okay. So, now we will talk about how, see, we have studied about how lightning is caused, okay, how thunder is caused. But now, how this lightning is very dangerous for us. We will talk about this, we have discussed this, but I will now write this point. So, how does it comes to us? How does it can be passed to the different objects? It is always told that whenever the lightning is there, one should be always away from the what? Very tall buildings, tall chimneys, all the tall structures. Okay. So, let us write about this. Spark which is produced in the clouds can also transfer to the earth through tall objects like Okay. Whatever charge is produced in the sky can also come down through the tall objects. What or which tall objects, children? It can be tall building, tall towers, tall chimneys. Okay. So, spark which is produced in the clouds can also transfer to the earth through tall objects like tall buildings, towers, chimneys, and also tall trees. Okay. So, how can it transfer, children? When sometimes clouds float very low, the lower part of the clouds carries positive charge, negative charge. It carries negative charge okay, can be transferred children, where it can be transferred? It can be transferred to tall objects as they are prone to develop positive charge. Okay. So, now what is happening? The objects are very tall, they are very close to the clouds. The clouds has the lower part, so the cloud has got negative charge, and the tall objects are prone to develop positive charge. Again the opposite charges will be developed, and the charge from the clouds will totally flow from what? From the clouds to the object. So, just let us read about this. Spark which is produced in the clouds can also transfer to the earth through tall objects like tall buildings, towers, chimneys, and also tall trees. When sometimes clouds float very low, the lower part of the clouds carries negative charge, which negative charge can be transferred to tall objects as they are from, what I have written, as they are prone, it is prone not from, it is prone to develop positive charge. Okay. So, now what will happen children? When the charge from the clouds passes to the object, the object can catch fire due to high heat. Okay. This we have discussed many a times, that lot of heat is produced, and when heat is produced, then what is happening? It can, the object can catch fire and can burn, isn't it? So, it can bring lot of destruction for us. Now, how to protect ourselves? This was all about the lightning, how it is produced, how it can be transferred to the surface of the earth. Okay. So, now what are the precautions which we need to take, and first of all, what are the ways to protect the tall buildings, because you know lightning is a very natural phenomena. It cannot be stopped, okay, it cannot be stopped, but yeah, of course there are certain measures through which we can prevent ourselves, isn't it? So, we will talk about the preventive measures, how the tall buildings or the chimneys can be prevented, and how even we can protect ourselves, okay. So, please note this down, and now we will move to the next topic related to this only, but just before that please note this down.